Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Yahweh Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. This is Matazat Lacham, and I was scrolling some videos, and I saw the brother over at GMS Timeless Wisdom. He said that they took down his channel of GMS Lively Stones. I was pissed off. It's like, well, where's this channel at? I was like, what the fuck? Because I subscribe. And, because I live in Wichita, Kansas. And hell, he stay up there in Kansas City, Missouri. That ain't but a couple of hours from here. 4 hours, 4.5 hours, some shit like that. I'd like to go down to Dallas and visit with the Brotherhood down there on a Friday or Saturday weekend, but I ain't got no, what do you call it? I ain't got no, vacation. Other than that, I just go down there for a week and stand up with the Brotherhood down there, Elder Yashawamba, because, I try to model some of my videos after him, because, him and Elder Ariel down there, I think that's the elder's name, at GMS 1999, that school down there, and not a school, but their channel is what I meant. But anyway, I apologize about all this background. It's my clock going off. It's almost time for me to go to the plantation. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, hey, look, man, these devils are going to go and proceed with their wicked plan to try to control the world through totalitarianism and using technocracy in an autocratic regime. Okay, before I start this video, let me get a couple of definitions. I'm going to get autocrat and technocrat. Okay, hold on, let me do this. Okay, autocrat definition. God damn it, boy, see, motherfucking, whatever. Okay, there's one. Autocratic definition. Autocratic means having or exercising unlimited power. Dictatorial. It describes a style of ruling, leadership, or management where one person makes all decisions without consulting others and demands strict obedience. Who the fuck does that sound like?
Autocratic.
Right? Who does that sound like? That sounds like Agent Orange DJT, don't it? Going to war without consulting the Congress. And now he wants to dissolve Congress and dissolve the 14th Amendment, which dissolves citizenship for so-called Black Americans. Okay? Now, Black's Law Dictionary states that of 1910, Black's Law Dictionary book states, anyone calling themselves a Black American is dead in the eyes of the law, which goes into civilitas mortuus, okay, which is meaning that you have to be convicted of a crime, so this way that way you'll be dead in the eyes of the law. You have no citizenship, you have no civil rights, you have no equal rights. You have no rights. You're just a piece of meat for them to misuse or abuse whenever they feel like it. Right? Now, key characteristics: centralized power. Project 2025. Remember, you guys I made a video on my channel concerning Project 2025 for about 50 minutes. You might want to go watch that. It breaks down Project 2025. Okay, and this is the blueprint on which the Trump regime is following. Okay? Centralized power. Total decision-making power rests in the hands of a single ruler, leader, or boss. Right? Who's the boss? Right? Agent Orange. Nero 47. Lack of input. Subordinates or citizens having little to or nothing to say in the decision-making process. That's the reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene quit. Joe Kent, that's the reason why he quit. All of these military commanders are quitting their jobs. The military forces have become as women, right? Strict obedience. Leaders expect their directives to be executed to the letter, right? Who the fuck does that sound like? That sounds like Pete Hegseth with his holy war bullshit that he's committing against genocide against the what do you call them? The Philistines, right? Strict obedience. Leaders expect their directives to be executed to the letter, often backed by rulers, surveillance, and the threat of punishment, right? Usage contexts. Government politics often describes dictatorships as absolute monarchies. It is the exact opposite of a democracy. Leadership management refers to a management style often called authoritarian, focused on highly structured top-down execution, which is Hegelian dialectic, pressure from above, pressure from below. And then it also goes into, what was that one? Oh, yeah. Reaction, a problem, reaction, solution, right? See? Then it goes into, okay, the rest of that. Alrighty, let's go into Salakia. Totalitarian definition, bro. Totalitarianism, right?
Totalitarianism.
Totalitarianism is a system of government where the state holds absolute power, striving to control all aspects of public and private life. So this dissolves the separation of church and state by putting the church and the state together using military power. You might as well give it back to the Pope. But the Pope is going to be threatened to side with Donald Trump or be exterminated. Okay? He's going to side with Trump or be exterminated. Okay, the monarchy under King Charles is going to direct the Pope, right, to side with Trump. Okay, so whatever Trump says, he gets what he wants, right? Now, this is being done by key players in the video that I'm about to show you, right? Clown Slob, okay? And what is his name? Nova Yuval Harari. Both of these are boy lovers. They're married to men. Grown men married to men. Where does it say that that's wrong? Romans chapter 1, verse 26. Let's go get it. I'm going to go stop. I'm going to make a pit stop right there before I go into totalitarianism. Make me a pit stop right quick. All right. Yeah, right. Look, see that? What? Okay. Let's go get it. Romans. Where you at? Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Let's start there. Wherefore the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, right? Supersessionism and replacement theology. God loves everybody, okay? The truth of the Most High is the Most High chose one nation above all others upon the face of the earth, as it is written in Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. A peculiar people, a royal priesthood, right? Alrighty. Okay. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And the creature is man. The creature is Satan. They were both created by the Most High God for his own pleasure, as it is written in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, made all things for himself, yep, even the wicked, for the day of evil. Okay, and the day of evil is almost upon these goddamn Edomites. That's the reason why they're scared. Oh, we've gotta hurry and do our and they're skipping over all of the different steps of gradualism in order to control the minds of the people as they take over using authoritarianism, totalitarianism, and dissolution of the and by amalgamating the dissolution of the separation of church and state by amalgamating church and state, right? Because we just read that in totalitarianism. Hold on. For this cause, the Most High gave them up unto the vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use for that which is against nature, right? Which goes and explains the boy lovers that are in control of the entire world at the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, the Bilderberger Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, okay, the Council of Foreign Relations. All of these different individuals, okay, are complicit at the top. Okay. Now I'm going to go into another biblical scripture right after this one, after I get to my point, right? Okay. And for this cause, God gave them up unto the vile affections. So it is a vile affection for a man to be a man lover, for a woman to lick each other's at the nappy dugout, at the hairy crotch situation, right? What you got? At the hairy crotch instead of Harry Potter, right? At the hairy crotch, the school of Harry Crotch, right? For this cause, the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use for that into that which is against nature. It is against nature for women to lick at the nappy dugout, to eat at the Y, so to speak. You know what I mean? Verse 27, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. Peter Thiel does it. Sam Altman does it. What you call him? You never see Mark Zuckerberg with a female, do you? You see what I'm saying? Bill Gates, he just got divorced from his man friend, that transgendered into a woman, right? Melvin, and now it's Melinda, right? Of the Kill Bill Gates and Melvin Foundation, right? Yeah. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, malignity. What is that? Can I get that to highlight? I don't know. Oh, nope. Guess can't get it to highlight. Oh, it's all good. Malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. The boy-loving shit and inventors of evil things. This digital reset video is an evil thing. Disobedient to parents without understanding, covenant breakers without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. Right? All right, so let's go over here and get back to the video. If I could get this damn thing to do right. Come on. Damn. Okay. Wow. Now let's go back to totalitarianism. Right? Dim the video. Right. Is it going to change? Okay. Totalitarianism. Okay. Is a system of government where the state holds absolute power, striving to control all aspects of public and private life. It eliminates political opposition, outlaws dissent, and enforces complete conformity through surveillance, state-controlled media, and terror. Key characteristics of a totalitarian regime include single-party rule, Republicans, right? All power resides in one political party, usually led by a dictator, Agent Orange, Nero 47. Blurring the lines between the government and the party, right? Extreme control. The government regulates nearly all societal functions, including the economy, education, arts, and religion. That's exactly what they're trying to do, is reset history. Why do you think Donald Trump, Agent Orange, is trying to shut down the Museum of Natural History? Okay, the Museum of Black History, trying to shut it down. Okay, because it reveals the wickedness of what they're doing, and the generations that come after asking questions can go in there and see what their ancestors were doing. Then it goes into the biblical prophecy of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, the book of Sirach, chapter 41, verse 5 through 10, 12. Take it back. All right. Extreme control. Okay. Mass propaganda. State-run media continuously broadcasts official ideology to mold public opinion and restrict access to outside information. That's the reason why they have the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, come in with Palantir, Gideon, NVIDIA, OpenAI, ChatGPT. These are all U.S. military-run, state-run military technologies that were given to certain individuals. Okay? That's the reason why they became billionaires over fucking night. Come on, man. Bill Gates made a computer. This motherfucker ain't made no goddamn computer. They were friends, supposedly friends at the time, but Bill Gates betrayed him, just like Mark Zuckerberg betrayed his friend on the Facebook thing, right? You seen that movie, I'm sure. Damn, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, right? Mass propaganda, state-run media continuously broadcasts official ideology to mold public opinion and restrict access to outside information. Terror and coercion. State police forces and the military are used to suppress any real or perceived opposition, creating an atmosphere of fear. Official ideology. This state is driven by an all-encompassing ideology that dictates the beliefs and daily actions of its citizens. That's the reason why you have those flock cameras in every neighborhood that are run by solar panels. They have a solar panel on a black stick with a camera on both sides of the street at the end of every street corner, watching to and fro everybody. They've got your digital ID footprint, facial recognition software, all of that bullshit. They know exactly who you are, where you're at all times. This is their false godhood, their I'm God bullshit, okay, on earth, right? God on earth as it is in heaven, right? What you got, Pope whatever his goddamn name is nowadays. And then they're going to amalgamate church and state, putting them both together, okay? Then King Charles controls the money, through the Trilateral Commission or the three city-states, Washington, D.C., London, England, and the Vatican, right? See? So, but anyway, now let's go over here to, if I can get this phone or do whatever I tell it to do. Alrighty, so let's go into, it's going to shut off again. Yep, thought so.
The Black Jesus story was probably one of the most shocking things I ever heard. It came from my insider, Jacob, I call him that in the book, who actually was working for the Rothschilds. And
okay, that's a different video. I'm going to save it. No problem. Okay. I get, it's very difficult, man, man, come on, man. God damn, really? These motherfuckers, boy. Anyway.
If you are within 20 years of retirement, or if you're already retired, all of your hard-earned savings now could be in danger.
Because they know.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is a...
So some people believe that everything that's happening in the world right now was actually predicted thousands of years ago. There's a passage in the Bible written almost 2,000 years ago, Revelation 13, verse 17. It says, "A mark will be required, placed on your right hand or your forehead, and without that mark, you cannot buy and you cannot sell." This is called the mark of the beast. And for most of human history, people assumed that this was just a metaphor from the Bible, kind of symbolic message that ancient texts used to describe power and controls in ways that people could visualize at that time, because obviously nobody could imagine the technology that would make this possible today. But if you're paying attention to the world and everything that's going on today, it almost seems like everything we're watching is part of some manufactured crisis, a transition in human history with a new opportunity to centralize power.
We are now moving from the industrial age to the intelligent age. We are living in the transition to a new time, which will change everything. It will change how we communicate, how we work, how we live. But now in this new age, the base will be knowledge, data, and intelligent insights.
Now, in the modern world, people call this prophecy the digital control grid. And I know how it sounds conspiratorial, but I want to show you some things that are actually happening right now. In 2025, a company co-founded by Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, started deploying a device called the Orb. It's a silver sphere about the size of a bowling ball, and what it does is it scans the iris of your eye to get what's called your biometric signature. It's the one thing about your body that's completely unique to you and can never be changed. Now, in exchange for that scan, you will get something called a World ID, which is a digital proof that you are a real human being. As of right now, over 18 million people have already done this voluntarily. Why would they do that? It's because in a world of AI and robots, how do you prove you're actually a real person? This is how. The World ID is now being integrated into apps like Tinder, DocuSign, Zoom, Shopify, and dozens of other platforms. Sam Altman has said that proof of human will eventually be required by every website, every app, every transaction on the internet.
People are really going to need this and really going to need to do this in a privacy-preserving way. So World ID is our effort at that. And our goal is to make World ID be this new proof of human for the internet.
Okay. Now, what the hell? All right. Now, I want to say fair use. This video is for educational purposes, commentary, and news reporting. Okay? Education, as far as the biblical scriptures being added to it. Okay, clearly the guy that's in the video, what's his, Andre Sheik, Lake, or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm not trying to, oh my God, this is not happening to me.
Every transaction on the internet.
People are really going to need this and really going to need to do this in a privacy-preserving way. So World ID is our effort at that. And our goal is to make World ID be this new proof of human for the internet.
At the same time, the United States passed something called the Genius Act, which is a law that creates the legal framework for stablecoins, aka digital dollars. And what makes a stablecoin different from the cash in your bank account is that it can be programmed. It can be given rules about where it can be spent, on what and when it expires, and whether it works outside a certain area. The World Economic Forum is also now arguing that water, soil, and even the air we breathe needs to be assigned a financial value. It needs to have a price, and it needs to be measured.
Now we need to put the economics of water, not only in terms of monetary values, but also in terms of governance, in terms of recognizing water as a commons that we now need to manage as a broad systems approach.
Which we all know is bullshit, because 2/3 of the planet is made out of water, right? Somewhere on the planet, it's raining. Free of charge. Okay, you have the Pacific, the Atlantic Ocean, you have the Caspian Sea, the Red Sea, the Dead Sea, the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea. What the fuck? 2/3 of the planet is made out of water. The Mediterranean Sea, okay, the Sea of Galilee. What do you want, man? They want to monetize. Okay, they've already monetized air. They put it in a tank and call it oxygen and give it to your elderly. They've monetized water. They put it in a carcinogenic container called plastic that they sell to you at cost. Then you see what the fuck I did? It doesn't make any sense. Let me stop. I'm gonna make a biblical pit stop on this Edomite right quick while he's talking shit. Come on, man. Let's do a pit stop right quick. Come on, man. All right. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. Right? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hateth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Into the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. Okay? These people do not get it. Their pineal gland that's in the center of the brain that allows them spirituality has been calcified from birth. That's the reason why it says that the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Because what this Edomite was just talking about is a goddamn lie. You mean to tell me you actually have to monitor and track water and air that are freely given to us from the Most High? The earth abideth forever. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. The earth abides forever. Since that's the case, there's always going to be water, there's always going to be air, there's always going to be food for everyone to eat. These motherfuckers have found a way to monetize everything, okay, and control it, and then force you under duress, under stress, to take part in their program, their regime, okay, under totalitarianism and authoritarianism through autocracy. Okay, where they have one ruler at the top. Boom, boom, boom. Right? This is the ridiculousness of their belief system. And you try to tell the truth, and the truth will set you free. But, yep, as you guessed it, it's going to piss you off. Right? See, I don't understand this.
Name is Dr. Jared Cooney.
Man, it just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. And then when you try to do it, just goddamn. You
Let this small device sit in your home to generate clean drinking water and never worry about shortages again. Homeowners are securing their own water supply and protecting their families simply by letting it quietly run day and night.
Systems approach.
If we're going to protect natural systems, one of the solutions is to bring nature onto the balance sheet, to bring nature into the ways that decisions are made within business, to allocate a value to it and to bring it into accounting and financial mechanisms.
Basically means the air and water should not be freely accessible. They should be a financial asset. And while all of this is happening, there's been a huge build out of cameras, satellites, cell towers, and AI data centers in communities all across the world. Now, some of this framework was brought to light by Catherine Austin Fitts, who used to be the Assistant Secretary of Housing under President Bush. And she talks about a specific plan of how this is going to look like. She says that there's 3 parts that are being built that have never existed before in human history.
So there are 3 sort of pillars that I track. One is the programmable money, and that's what we at Solari are trying to stop. The second is the digital ID, because you need digital ID systems that are interoperable globally, and then the local hardware. And those are sort of the 3 pillars.
Programmable money, the global digital identity system, and the surveillance hardware to enforce both of those systems. And she says that when all 3 are complete, the people who control that system, aka the central planners, those people will not need laws to influence society. They're not going to need the police or the courts. If they want you to do something, and for some reason you're not doing it, they'll just turn off some important aspect of our lives. Whether it's the money we use, the IDs we need, or they could just restrict our ability to buy and sell or travel somewhere unless we comply.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
That's why some people believe that this was a prophecy that came from the Bible. So in this video, I want to talk about what's being built, how this affects the investment markets, and what's going to happen to the idea of money itself. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Comfort the Finance.
Okay. So I think we have an idea of where he's going to go, right? I'd like to go and see how far I can get. Palantir, high on AI demand. Hold on. Oh, they're going up in the Palantir of what it can control.
Cutter.
See if they're going to go into
on a blockchain. Now, Catherine Austin Fitts points out that buried inside the Genius Act is a requirement that all stablecoin issuers must connect to a Treasury Department pipe, one that applies KYC, know your customer rules, and anti-money laundering rules, and sanctions enforcement. And once this connection exists, it can be integrated with anything, including a social credit system. What's a social credit system, right? A social credit system is basically a score that gets assigned to you based on your behavior. It's going to measure things like, did you pay your bills on time? Score goes up. Did you jaywalk or post something critical of the government online or associate with someone that the system flagged as a problem? Score goes down. And your score determines what you'll be allowed to do. A high score means you'll get access to better loans, faster travel, more opportunities. A low score means you can't buy a plane ticket. You can't get certain jobs. This is already a proven model in China.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
In fact, over 30 million flights and train trips were blocked in a single year because of this system. They want you, quote, on your best behavior.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
Now, the stablecoin companies say that they would never do this, but
Yep, but they're going to do it anyway. Oh, what'd that bitch say?
essential to swiftly adopt the regulation and the establishment of the digital euro.
It is thus essential to swiftly adopt the regulation on the establishment of the digital euro.
And all of this is sort of...
Okay, so now they're going towards digitality, right? What does he say?
Долг, они его загоняют в крипту в облако, обесценивают и начинают с нуля.
What you're about to see has never been captured on film.
Come on, man. God damn it, man.
Обесценивают и начинают с нуля.
Because if you can get hundreds of millions of people around the world to hold your digital dollars on their smartphones, which are essentially just treasury bills wrapped in an app, you've just found a new market for U.S. debt.
That's what they're trying to do. Okay, they trying to get rid of them under all this debt. Okay, with that Dogecoin bullshit. That's what he's finna go into. Well, I want to see if he's going to go into is the market of beast.
So how do you build a global identity system? Because people would never vote for that. The way you would do it is that you make it so convenient and so useful for everyday life that people will line up voluntarily to hand over their biometric data, which is exactly what's happening. Go back to World ID. Sam Altman's company did not launch this as a government program. right? They launched it as a solution to a real problem. How do you prove that you are a human being in a world full of AI? It's a genuinely good question. And the answer he came up with is scan your eyeball, get a credential, and use it everywhere. Tinder uses it so that you know your match is real. DocuSign uses it so that contracts are tied to verified human beings. Zoom uses it so you know that the person on the other side is not a deepfake. Right? Every single use case is completely reasonable, which is why 18 million people have already signed up.
Slakia. Look at that. Wow. WorldCoin suspended in Kenya as thousands queue for free money. Free money. What you got to do to get it?
Once this next pandemic shows up, whether it's next year or the year after, I can assure you that we're going to have another effort to impose this kind of control state. And this time it will probably be far more digital.
And those of us who choose not to comply, whether it's a vaccine or a quarantine or something else, they will use this infrastructure to deny access to your basic human rights. Because all of this is technological, though, there doesn't have to be a law. We saw a preview of this with vaccine passports. In some countries, you can go into a restaurant or a gym or a concert without showing a digital health certificate. Some people were forced to get vaccines, otherwise they were not allowed to come to work. Scale.
Yeah, they tried to shit with
Investor, they might tell you, C has been trying to override controls on where cell towers can be placed, so they can be installed every 400 to 700 feet, which would be close enough together that your phone's location can be triangulated at all times, indoors or outdoors, and whether you have location services turned on or not. There's even Wi-Fi, which can apparently locate where you are in real time inside your own house. And then above that, there's now commercial satellites that can beam Wi-Fi directly to devices on the ground, which means even if you have no connection, the network can still reach you. Now, why would they want to do any of this? It's because that will allow for the ability to program your money specifically, such that it might not work more than a mile from your house. This applies to your car as well. There's something called the kill switch. Congressman Thomas Macy is trying to remove it, but it is now legally required in every new car sold in America. It's a switch that can remotely turn off your car. That's the law right now.
But there is a law that states that every vehicle manufactured is going to have a kill switch in it. The car itself will monitor your driving. And if the car thinks that you're not doing a good job driving, it will disable itself. So the car dashboard becomes your judge, your jury, and your executioner.
That's why Pillar 3 is the hardware. Because think about what it actually takes to run a social credit system at scale, tracking hundreds of millions of people's financial transactions, their physical movements, their online behavior, their compliance status, and then you have to apply different rules to different people in real time. That is almost an incomprehensible amount of data processing, and you need the most powerful computing infrastructure ever built to do it, which is exactly why it's being built right now at a speed and scale that is no historical comparison. But in order for the system to work, all of this has to be stored and interpreted in one place. Someone has to turn this data into a unified picture of every person, right? You have to build a risk profile. And that's exactly what Palantir was built to do.
Co-founded by Peter Thiel back in 2003, its mission, providing software that customers use to integrate volumes of data from images to spreadsheets into a central platform where it can then be securely analyzed and interpreted.
It was built to fuse data from multiple sources into one story about your life. It was...
Okay. So we know all of that. Okay. Let's get to the RFID chip. Hold on.
Said crisis.
In this new world, we have to accept transparency, and I would even say total transparency. Everything is going to be transparent, and we have to get used to it. We have to behave that way. It becomes, how should I put it, part of your personality. But if you have nothing to hide, there's no need to be afraid.
You don't need a POS to accept cards. Wait, so you just tap a card on your phone and boom?
Yeah, I use Jim. Too loud for you?
No need to be afraid.
So tying all of this together, one of the most interesting theories I've seen that explains what's happening in the world today is not just for the military-industrial complex and its profits, it's not just for an energy disruption and a rerouting, it's basically for the event that makes all of this possible one way or another. And the countries that are trying to resist the vassalization into the financial markets will need to eventually get in line. Because think about...
Right.
More videos there, and you'll.
So what I'm gonna do is show you. Okay. Let me go here. What's that? Hey, I was just there. Boom. Let's go here to RFID chips images. Okay. Alrighty. And this is what they want to do.
What if you could pay for your shopping with just a wave of your hand? This RFID chip works just like a contactless card. It's implanted into your hand, and once it's there, you can pay for groceries, open doors, and even unlock your car.
As this guy made his...
Wait, so is Walmart actually starting to care about us? Because they just put tracking chips on our food. No, really, Walmart is teaming up with Avery Dennison to start tracking your meat, deli, bakery items with RFID chip. It's all about the fresh stuff, you see, because we knew about this and all the other products in the past. But when it comes to the fresh stuff, it's cold, damp. That's why this technology was never really sought out before. But now it's going to be easier for associates to find fresh stuff, making sure it's not out of date, a lot faster than ever before. At the same time, though, I want to throw it out there that this is going to also prevent theft. I also think it's less about the food waste that they're preventing and even theft that they're preventing. What I really love is that these chips are the first time they've ever worked in a cold, wet environment, like a meat case. I want to know, what do you think about this new tech? Does Walmart care about us? Wait, so is Walmart
work? Oh, there we go.
How do you do it?
Magic.
Huh?
Magic.
Oh, magic.
This is not magic, but the future of technology. This man has an RFID chip implanted in his hand. It uses radio waves to detect tagged objects. It's inserted with the help of a syringe and sits just beneath the skin, whether it's for making payments, opening doors, or getting into a car. This
Okay. Let's do it again. Implanted.
Everyone was shocked when this man paid without a card.
That's the name of that movie I was thinking about. Implanted. I knew that movie came out of nowhere. Implanted. That's the name of the movie. Whatever.
Couldn't believe it when the guy paid using just his hand.
Okay. Is that the only video they got? Hold on.
Simple. I only pay $10 a month for my internet connection. Fast, unlimited, anywhere.
Fuck, man.
Have you heard about Ryoko Pro?
High-tech.
Losing his keys is no longer a concern for Sandro Portner. All he needs to do to open his front door is to swipe his hand in front of this chip reader. A fan of new technology, this young man from Switzerland has had 2 radio frequency identification chips implanted into his body. He's part of a new generation of what some have branded enhanced human beings.
I'm not saying it's indispensable,
But I'm a high-tech fan, and it's an invention I was interested in trying out. Another reason is I know it's easy to remove, if I want to.
Opening doors or switching on your smartphone, these are just some of the uses for these chips, and the range of new applications is growing. The size of a grain of rice encapsulated in bioactive glass, the chips don't affect the human organism according to developers. Even tattoo artists have started implanting them.
We've had between 70 and 80 people come here to get implants. They come in waves. One person will get an implant, and then others will see the result, and they'll want one too. People think it's really weird to get an implant, and then they see the result and they think, I could try that too. Maybe one day the chip will allow me to do even more things.
Is this technology really useful? For this Swiss anthropologist, it's all about today's luxury becoming tomorrow's necessity. The notion of usefulness is something that evolves. We're in a consumer society where the stakes are always higher. Today, some things seem useless or even ridiculous, but tomorrow or the day after, they'll seem essential because we'll have got used to the fact that they're technically possible. This is the case in the medical field. At the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne, researchers have developed an RFID microchip which tracks cholesterol and helps adjust drug intake.
Oui, en principe, il peut être utile pour plusieurs applications. Par exemple, dans la côté...
There are many applications. In oncology, for example, you can measure anti-cancer drugs, which can be dangerous. So it's important to adjust the quantities you give a patient.
Des médicaments qui sont en principe dangereux, donc il est très important de les contrôler correctement.
It's a project which has fed all kinds of rumors, especially over the internet. In 2011, many websites announced that such implants would become compulsory in the United States as part of President Barack Obama's newly introduced healthcare plan, a hoax which has since been exposed. In this office in the Swedish capital, Stockholm, RFID chips allow wearers to open doors, swap contact details, or use the photocopier, all with the wave of a hand. Developers want to explore what possibilities the chip offers and see how products and services can be developed around the technology.
Here you can open doors using your chip. You can do secure printing from our printers with the chip, but you can also communicate with your mobile phone by sending your business card to individuals that you meet.
According to developers, since the amount of metal in the chip is so small, there's no risk of it setting off metal detectors, and it's also safe during MRI scans or when using an induction oven. It's also very unlikely to break inside the body as it's buffered by the surrounding skin and tissue.
It felt pretty scary, but at the same time it felt very modern, very 2015.
Its developers say such a chip cannot be tracked, so there's no risk of privacy intrusion. The fact is, it's already in our lives. It now remains to be seen what this form of transhumanism holds for us in the future.
Okay? So you see, they've been trying to do this shit for a very, very long time. This has always been the plan of these devils with this blockchain that Andre was trying to explain to us. Okay? You need to understand what time you're in. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is not fucking around. If you take this thing underneath your skin, that means that you hold these devils up as your God that can take care of you, as opposed to the Most High. Okay? That's a bad position for you to be in. Okay? And have the unmitigated audacity to call yourself a Christian. That's a bad idea. Okay? Now, this video may have been a while. Okay? But it's still relevant today because they're still pushing this shit. Look, 3 or 5 years ago. Okay? 8 months ago. See, they're going off of inventory. Right? 9 months ago. 8 months ago. See? So like I said before, RFID explained. Come on, man. Wireless. 11 months ago. Let's watch this.
First, let's start with the basics. RFID stands for Radio Frequency Identification. It's a technology that allows for the wireless transfer of data using radio waves. This means that RFID tags can be read from a distance without the need for a direct line of sight. Next, let's talk about RFID tags. These are small devices that contain a microchip and an antenna. First, let's start with the basics.
Okay. Now, the impertinent information of this video is that it can be read from a distance. Thereby, that runs the risk of a person that's got an RFID skimmer that could skim your information, your money, all of that shit, digital stable coins off your off your chip as you walk by. They could have this huge scanner on a backpack while they're walking down the street and just take your money. Fuck it. It's on take money within 50 yards. And they're just walking around the neighborhood just getting rich off your ass. By the time you get wherever you're trying to get to, right, you're broke. How? That's impossible. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? You think they're not going to do this? They're going to have agents, sleeper agents, walking up and down people's neighborhood taking your shit. Okay? There's no way out of this, man. Okay? Look. Let's go get a biblical scripture. I'm going to close out. Okay. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 2. Right? As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. Right? Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. Okay? This is a bad position for you to be in. Don't be in a position where your house is going to be overthrown. They come and put your ass out of your house, because that's exactly what they're going to do anyway. You know, let's go to 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 68, right? For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And this is my point. It goes into the precept of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach 27 and 2 and 3, actually. 27 verses 2 and 3, right? For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. If you ain't got no money to pay for your bills, they're going to cast you out of your fucking house. That's how you're going to know that, okay, it's going to continue and it's going to explain itself. Verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire of adversity. Right? Let's go get it. 2 Ezra chapter, no, it's not 2 Ezra, it's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 5, I think it is. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Verse 6, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Okay, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Go not aside, lest ye fall. Okay, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Verse 10, and my point. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. So, like I said before in the biblical scripture earlier, I think it was in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 8, right? Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right? Let's go to, where was that? Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass at that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And that's exactly what's about to happen. It's called civil unrest. Okay? That's what it's called. Alrighty? I think it was, Zechariah chapter 1, verse 14, I think it is. Right? Was it second? No, it was Salakia. Zephaniah 1, I think it is. Right, it was Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That is a day of wrath, a day of trouble, and a day of distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Okay, so this is a bad time. Okay. The day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they will walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither shall their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Okay? Now, Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. Right? And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast technology, totalitarian, authoritarian control through autocratic totalitarianism, right? Through autocracy, right? The third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented, with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. This is a bad position. Don't do it. Okay. Just wait upon the Lord. He just told you, wait upon me, saith the Lord, didn't he? What the hell, man? You have no patience? Just wait a little while, man, until everything is completely set. Then he's going to come pull you out of the way and destroy everything else. Then you get to go to the crowning ceremony found in 2 Ezra chapter 2, right? Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. Revelation chapter 12, I think it is, I can't remember, but I'll just go back and reread it. But verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Right? Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. Right? Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he had causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive this mark, which we just saw videos of what the form this mark is going to take. And the system that's already being built with data centers using digital ID. This is the digital ID. This is the form the digital ID is going to have to take. First, they're going to come with the card. Then they're going to say you're going to have people that's stealing information off of people's cards with the RFID skimmer. Like I told you, you have to be very wary of individuals with a backpack on walking past you, because they'll take your fucking money. Okay, I just told you, man. Okay, I'm telling you, I do research on this shit. These motherfuckers are doing this stuff. And I apologize about cussing at you, but you need to understand what time you're in, man. Okay? Real talk. You better get you an RFID blocker or one of them deals that block RFID signals, taking or receiving, to save your money from being stolen, as it is right now on your card. Because most people are having their money direct deposited. You see what I mean? How the vulnerability of the people's money, as it is, it's digital. They could just take your money and just say, the system crashed. Fuck it. You got to start all over. How you going to pay your rent? The rent ain't going to never change unless it goes up. Okay. Your mortgage payment is going to go up. Your car payment is going to go up. Or the property tax on the car payment is going to go up. Your insurance is going to go through the roof. But you ain't got no money to pay for it. They're coming to take your shit. They're coming to put your ass out in the street. This is going to be an unprecedented time of the poor, needy, and homeless that have ever been seen on the face of the earth, out of people's fear of the Lord. Now, you're going to have millions of people that are going to stand in line and compromise their salvation. And you're going to have church pastors telling a goddamn lie to the people, okay, at the same time saying it's okay, God's going to forgive you. And people will go and take it, the mark of the beast, RFID microchip. They're going to go and take this mark, feeling a relief from being pricked in the spirit of not taking it, of the punishment that's coming, because they're going to believe the pastor. They're going to be looking mentally for a way around this deal to go back to some sort of sense of normalcy in their life. Okay? I'm telling you, man, this is about to become a time of trouble of which the world has never seen. Okay? We just went into it in 2 Ezra chapter 16, just to give you an example of what's going on. Okay? Alrighty? Anyway, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Yahweh Kakadash. One more scripture. And the first went, Revelation 16:2, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore. The hell? A noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So if you're a willing participant in this cashless society that these devils are going to set up, okay, and you take this deal underneath your skin, more than likely, you're going to receive some sort of punishment from the Most High God, of which everybody on the earth will be able to see. This biocompatible micro C-hip that's supposed to be implanted underneath your skin is going to give off some sort of radiation that's not biocompatible with your body. And it's going to show itself in a sore or a cancerous pus, okay, outside of your body. And it's going to stink, okay? Because you're going to smell like rotten battery acid mixed in with a dead rat. Are you sure you want to smell like that? There's no amount of perfume that you can use to cover that shit up. People are going to be wearing gloves. People are going to be wearing bandages and the parts of the body, okay, in which you have this stuff showing up, okay? This is what I fear. Fuck that. Okay? Yeah, this is what's stopping me right here. Fuck the bullshit. That's crazy. Okay? So, y'all need to understand, this is the time that you're in. You're about doomed. Okay? The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is on his way to save his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Shalom.